Okay, there's no such thing as new in real estate. But it looks like we have two shiny new water meters, electronic water meters, here in the parkway in front of the house. This is sunken down a little bit, so this curb might be a little bit of a trip hazard. If Granny's coming to visit you, you might want to help her in and out of the car. But being electronic, it's very difficult to ascertain whether they're leaking or not. And why would you have two meters? Well, back in the day, that's the way a lot of people did it, because they did not want to pay for the sewer and trash for their water usage for their lawn sprinkler system. So now they have calculations. It's like a nickel trying to save, spending a quarter trying to save a nickel. But that's the way it was done, and that's the way this is done, I believe, because there's a single water meter over at the neighbor's house, and we're too far to go that way. So these are where the water meters are. That's what we've got. And now across the way, where it should be, by the way, this is the check valve for the lawn sprinkler system. And when this was installed, it was okay to have two isolation valves. In fact, you still want two isolation valves. If this was installed today, we'd also have a main shutoff valve to the sprinkler system. But as it is, there's only two isolation valves. Now these valve handles, they're rusty. They'll probably come off in your hand if you try to use them. And these bleed valves are supposed to have rubber caps on them so they don't get rocks in them like that. So that's why you're supposed to have caps on them. You think this has been serviced in the last year? No, it hasn't been serviced in the last year. And they're supposed to be. So, and there should be 3 inches of clearance underneath the valve so that someone can get their hands around it and service this thing. And then the bottom of the floor should be lined with gravel so that dirt doesn't migrate in here like it has been. So it hasn't been serviced in the last year. We do not have a main shutoff valve, which was not required when it was installed. We do not have the rubber covers, and we got rusty handles. Okay, so coming along, what I'm not noticing or haven't noticed yet, I'll call it to your attention if I can see it, but I'm not noticing or seeing any main sewer cleanouts. I've seen a couple cleanouts on the walls, but I haven't seen any main cleanout to the structure. And it sure would be nice if you had one. Back to the lawn sprinkler system, spray heads are not supposed to be closer to the structure than 12 inches because it's going to spray the wall. This is the main shutoff valve to the house, like the lawn sprinkler system doesn't have. And it's inside this big old stone here. And there it is. Can you see that? Come on. Get my aperture in here. I don't want to dig up the flashlight. I will though. I will. Don't dare me. Don't dare me. Okay, there's the handle. The valve is buried. This box, like the sprinkler check valve, this box should have been excavated and lined with gravel, and you should be able to see that valve. That valve is so rusty. I don't have a lot of faith in that guy. He's probably not going to treat you very well if you try to turn him on. Speaking of turning him on, we're at the front faucet here. It's insulated. It does not have a vacuum breaker. None of the exterior faucets have vacuum breakers. They should, but they don't. And we're looking for between 40 and 80 psi, pounds per square inch. And we come along here, and we've got about 50 psi. That's pretty good. The valve is leaking. That's probably not going to affect the pressure, to be honest. But it is leaking, and it is a nuisance. So we got a leaking valve, no vacuum breaker, and 50 psi, which is pretty good actually. So people say pressure, you can't get enough pressure. Well, no, it's really not like that. I mean, pressure and flow are related, but what you feel, your sensation, is flow. How much water is actually hitting you. And you can mimic pressure by putting a little restrictor on it, like you used to put your thumb over the garden hose and you thought it'd fill up the little swimming pool faster. I get that. Coming along here, just because we can. This is the condensing unit for the air conditioning system. And this guy is 1 year old. 1 year old. Refrigerant? I know it is, but I just want to look. I want to look. Don't throw me any curveballs. 410A, that's the good stuff. Alright, 48 divided by 12, it's a 4-ton unit. 4-ton unit. Hasn't been installed very long. Now this disconnect shouldn't be behind it. I'm kind of cutting it some slack. I don't even think I'm going to write that on the report, because it's like to the side here. I don't know, I might. I probably will. I get to thinking when I get home. It should be sealed, these 3 sides. Now since 2015, this is the wrong foam. Since 2015, this is the wrong insulating foam. This is old school. This will get dry in the sun, crack. It's supposed to be a sturdy, you know, vinyl, plastic, encased. That's just not right. And these are your Schrader valves. Look that up in the dictionary. Okay, but they're your refrigerant service ports. And those valves are just like, and underneath those caps, they look just like the air valves on your tires. And on your car and your bicycle. Motorcycle. I got one of those. So, had one of those. Excuse me. Wishful thinking. So, but you're supposed to have anti-theft Schrader valve caps. So these are the wrong types of caps, as per 2015, and as per ever since. And that gives you a clue, supposed to, that you have 410A. If this is off, and somebody was to look at this, and they didn't know the age, and they'd look at those caps, and they might assume that this is the R22 system, which is not. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff. So we got anti-theft Schrader valve caps are missing. The low pressure refrigerant line insulation is the wrong stuff. It should be sealed on 3 sides. Now ideally there would be an electric service receptacle outlet out here so the technician can hook up his vacuum pump and clean this system out, or whatever it is that he's going to use that requires electricity. But those weren't required when this home was built. And so to add one out here would be retrofitting. It doesn't usually happen, but you know, it's a safety device for the technician, so it's going to make the report. It's going to make the report. This is where the gas enters the house. This is the main shut-off valve. If this valve is running parallel with the pipe, it's on. And if it's perpendicular with the pipe, it's off. So, I didn't mean to take you all the way around for just a water meter test, but I did.